and he's on the right side to be there. But as I've said in the past, if you look at the car on the right-hand side of the screen that we're looking at, it's the left-hand side now. That inside line actually is not the worst line to be on. There's a little bit of dirt there, but there's also a little bit more traction off the line. So this definitely helps you out if you get the start right. We have got final cars taking up their positions now. We're going into start procedure. And Rudy Barnard and JP Nokia are the front row, but it's the other way around this time with JP on pole and Rudy in second. So will Rudy be able to capitalize as the lights go out? Let's see what happens. It is a fantastic start from Rudy. As I said, inside line, a little bit extra traction. Thomas Falconer following through there, looking potentially for third place as they go through turn number 1 for the first time. The Class L competitors all looking for chances to redeem themselves as well. Wow, a little bit of wide there coming out of, I think that was, just trying to pick up who that was, running so wide into turn 1. But certainly some guys going through turn 2 rapidly, and a little bit too rapidly because they ran wide out of Cashville corner as well. It is Barnard who leads out. JP's in second. What's your thoughts?
JP's just letting him think that he's, oh, that looks like
out of shape there for 7. Clive Wilmot, but he managed to catch it. Now they're all going into an area where the change of surface flag is out, as you can see on the left-hand side there. There was a lot of oil dropped 2 races ago by a stricken Camaro that was on the sideline. So, big moment there for Mackie Adlam. Back end stepped out on him as he came out of the fixed up oil section. JP capitalized on that. And it looks like coming through there as well was David Jeremy. So some serious race contention being done here in the first 2.4 or 2.1 Ks of race action here. It's a 10 lapper, nine laps still to come, and it's Barnard leading things out. David Jeremy in second.
See, JP's dropped to third.
Now, what do you think the reason for that is?
Rudy Barnard had a really good start. He was really fast off the line. I think he reacted very quickly. And he had that inside line.
So he hung on to the inside line, got away slightly. I think JP was caught up in the battle there with Mackie, and that's why he's fallen back slightly. Donovan LaRue is in the mix there as well, as you can see. He wasn't too far off the back end of that as they come through there. And then it's Grant Findlay. Findlay was the guy who actually ran wide coming out of turn 2. He was one of the cars that we saw end up in the kitty litter in that first race fracas that turned out there. He was the one in turn 1 that they had to go and extricate. Oh, welcome to Lotus 7 Racing, Rudy Barnard. That's how you get it out of shape. So these things get out of shape very quickly. The reason being is that the engine, of course, is in the front. The rear end of the car is very light. And if you're just a little bit too hard on the brakes or a little bit too hard on the accelerator, the rear-wheel drive tends to kick in, and a bit of oversteer coming in there.
So it definitely comes down a lot to driver skill.
Oh, yes. No, for sure. This is
You can't just rely on a fast car.
A fast car is good, but a good handling car is better, I think. And I think that's basically what we're seeing up within these top 2 cars. They are the more suited in terms of handling. They're not necessarily the fastest cars. I think JP possibly has the fastest car, and in fact, if you look at the timing monitor right now, the fastest car on track was down in 5th place in Jeff Gable, and then as I said that, I was about to say David Jeremy looked quickest, and he was.
David Jeremy is actually having a really good race. He's really holding pace. He's holding position very well because Mackie Adam is right behind him. He's trailing on him. He's not letting him rest, but he can't seem to catch him.
That's the problem. He's fighting so hard there with JP, and because of that, they're sort of slowing each other down slightly. The same thing that's happening now, as you can see with Jeremy closing in on Barnard. He can't find a way through on Rudy Barnard, but because he's fighting so hard, the 2 of them are slowing each other down slightly as well. Big problems there for, once again, I can tell you something, it's been a nightmare of a day there for Jeff Gable.
He just can't catch a break.
No, he can't. Fortunately, he kept all the bodywork this time. Didn't throw his clothes away when he came into turn number 5.
David Jeremy is going to be under some pressure now because Mackie Adam has just set the fastest lap.
Yep. Adams turned the wick up. I think he wants to close that gap down, and he wants to bring JP Nokia along for the ride. So Adam and Nokia hopefully going to work together. You've seen it in the past, you've seen it in the motorsport that you've been watching. 2 cars working together certainly go faster than 1 car on its own because you can use each other's slipstream, and you tend to have that little carrot dangling in front of you that will make you go faster. When you see 2 cars fighting like Jeremy and Adlam, JP Nokia and Adlam are seeing, they're seeing that Jeremy is starting to slow down behind Rudy Barnard. So it's giving them the opportunity to catch. We're also going back here to, of course, Class L. Class L at the moment, Sean Hepburn leading things out over Andrew Fulton and Nick Hodgson. Nick Hodgson was the man who had a car stuck on top of him, if you remember, in turn 2 in race 1.
It's good to see him back racing again.
So there's Fulton. Fulton in car 52, and behind him is Hodgson. Looks like not much damage to that car, considering the fact that he had another car parked on top of him in the form of Ting Wen.
These cars are quite resilient.
Now, they are well-built race cars, they really are. They've kind of proven themselves over the years as good little race cars. You were mentioning the fact that it's good value for money, particularly in Class L. So if you're looking to get involved in this category, of course, the best way to do that is to get hold of Fast Fred, Nicole's uncle, and the team at the TLR. You can find them the Lotus Register. They've got a website and a Facebook page. And if you are looking to try and get hold of a Lotus 7 and want to get involved in this class, that's the way to go.
It looks like a lot of fun to drive.
So if you can speak to your uncle, I think you need to have a chat and say to him, listen, I think I need to have a go in the Fast Fred Mobile, because they are a huge amount of fun to drive.
It looks like a lot of fun.
The one cool thing that you need to try and do as well as part of your training is, if you get opportunities to drive race cars or cars similar to the race cars, do it. Because that experience that it brings with it is it allows you to sort of put it into practice when you're talking about the racing that we're doing right now. For a season, I ran with Barney, of course, the big boss man behind this series, and his dad, Joop, and they gave me a chance to race as part of their team for a season. And these Lotuses are challenging cars to drive, but they are a huge amount of fun. And with driving these cars, you learn a lot as well, because being the rear-wheel drive and being so light at the back, it teaches you a lot of driver skills, and you can put to practice in other categories as well, which is really nice to do.
From a commentary point of view, I think it helps a lot to know what's going on in the driver's mind.
Yeah, and also what you got to do in the car.
Yeah.
You know, if you're watching what these guys are doing, sometimes you get an up-close and personal shot that our cameramen give us where they zoom in, and you watch just how hectic they're doing on the steering wheel, how hard they're having to work. You know, they want not so much in this car because you can't really see inside the cockpit as much. But sometimes on the bigger cars, when we get an outside shot, you can just see them fighting the wheel the whole time because it's such a difficult car to drive. These ones, a little bit more sturdy. And as we come across the line with 4 to go, it's David Jeremy now with a relatively comfortable margin. 1.7 seconds is a nice gap to have.
That is, he's really stretching his legs there at the front. And David Jeremy's been consistent, because from the get-go he's had pace, he's held his spot. He's consistently been overtaking.
And now pulling away. Barnard and Adlam don't have an answer. So it looks like it might be a 1-2-3 here for Ran Francisco Fontaine, just to let you know. The Auto Adlam team running those checkered flag rear wheel arches, just showing they're all from Auto Adlam squad. Mackie, give you an indication, that's a 6-time V8 Supercar champion back-to-back.
Wow. And
a 2-time Lotus Challenge champion as well. So he knows what to do in a race car. But right now, his 2 teammates are showing him the way.
Clearly it's a rapid team. They seem to have a lot of skill.
Yeah, they do. They definitely do. So does JP. Take nothing away from your man. There you go. A little slide for you. I think that was done on purpose. He knew you were watching at that point. He was like, watch this, Nicole. Check this out. Check, hitty move, as they say. Right, so 3 to go. And it looks like I think these guys are going to do some formation flying here. I think Mackie Adler might just give Rudy a bit more pressure into these last 3 laps to see if he can get up one more position. I don't know if JP's got an answer right now. He seems to be settling for 4th place. What do you think?
I don't think he has an answer right now.
As he goes into this one, he's going to lose out here to these top 3. Barnard was quickest on that one, getting down to a 109.5 in a Lotus. That's a rapid time around here. Very, very quick time.
And his teammates are matching it, basically.
Yeah.
Like one team basically has the 3 fastest laps, and they've just been trading the fastest lap for the whole race.
And you know the problem is that those cars are so evenly matched because of the way they're prepped at Auto Adlam. They it's literally down to the skill of the driver on the day and who's got the luck, because they really are. I mean, there's just such a great camaraderie amongst them. The 2 family members there, Barnard and Adlam, family members by marriage, but awesome to see that as well. Now we go further back into the pack here. Picking up on Tinus Zwartkops. Has he taken the lead? Yes, he has. That's why we've gone back there. Tinus Zwartkops has taken the lead of Class L ahead of Hepburn. So change up for Class L lead as Zwartkops hits the front for the first time, and he's actually pulled a small margin there on Sean Hepburn. So keep an eye on that one to see whether or not Zwartkops can maybe hang on to potentially spoil the day here for him. No, I lie. Sorry, Zwartkops is Class B. So no, I'm talking rubbish. Zwartkops, don't worry. Well played. It is still Sean Hepburn. It's Tinus Zwartkops who is in Class B. But that shows you that even with the low cost, you can run with the back end of the field in Class L.
A lot of it comes down to driver skill.
Now, Hepburn, of course, has got a lot of experience in this car. We saw him earlier on in the AA-sponsored 1200 GX as well. So he's had a busy day. First one didn't quite go according to plan as we saw, but he managed to get back on track, fortunately due to that red flag.
Someone's misfortune ends up being somebody else's win.
It always happens that way, hey?
And a lot of the drivers I've seen competing across multiple classes.
That's what I said to you. You know, because of the way that the format runs today and the classes that are on track, if you've got a car that you can compete in about 3 or 4 categories, they normally do. They'll enter in every single one of them to get value for money so that they can enjoy their day's racing. And that's what a lot of these guys do. Not so much the Lotus guys. They kind of concentrate their efforts on this particular event. But in the past, these race days used to have a 45-minute endurance race thrown into the mix, either at the end of the day or in the middle of the day. And some of the Lotus guys would then go and race in that as well. So
how did they do in the endurance races?
Pretty good, actually, eh? To be honest with you, these cars run really nicely. You know, if I think about the endurance race we did at Kyalami, I think we ran top 7 in my car, and that was in amongst Porsches, Ferraris, and a couple of other endurance cars as well. So they can hold their own. They really can. Speaking of holding their own, well, Jeremy's trying to hang on here for dear life because there's a lot of late race pressure being applied here by his teammates. And with 2 corners to go, is it going to be Jeremy, or are we going to see a change up here from Barnard's point of view?
This is really exciting. I think we're going to have a battle to the finish line between teammates.
That's it. Ooh, up close and personal, but just not enough. Flags out. I think Rudy was just giving him a run there. They're going to have a chat about that afterwards. Yeah. They'll have a chat about that afterwards, saying, listen, did you really have to put that much pressure on at the end?
So that's a podium finish with 1 team on the podium. That's kind of awesome.
Pretty cool, hey? 1, 2, 3 there for the team. Jeremy, Barnard, and Adam. Here comes race leader for Class L. Nice recovery here. So from 0 to hero here for Sean Hepburn, I've got to say. And a fantastic effort there from him to change his luck around completely. Oh, Zwartkops under a bit of pressure from him there. I'm not sure why Tinus is fighting so hard. He is in Class B. He doesn't really have to fight.
He's like, it's the last race of the day. I'm going to fight anyone who gets in my way.
I'm not letting Sean pass. Not at all. There we go. Right, so, young lady, that wraps up your day. Before we go, let's just have a look at the unofficial results there. Jeremy, Barnard, Adlam, JP Nokia, and Donovan LaRue, your top 5 in Class B. It is then going down to 12th place, where we see Sean Hepburn, Nick Hodgson, Andrew Fulton, and Jean de Toy, the top 4 in Class L for the low-cost side of things. Wrapping up Lotus Challenge, also wrapping up the day here for my fellow commentator. Hope you've had a good day.
I have had